Welcome to Chefs in the City. I'm your host, Ann Fisher, along with my co-hosts, Steve Stover and Rich Terapak. The U.S. food truck services market size was valued at $1.16 billion in 2021 and is expected to grow at an annual rate of 6.4% from 2022 to 2030. So here we are in 2025. The growth of food trucks is obvious in Central Ohio. You don't need anyone to show you the stats to know that. They're everywhere. And they'll be well represented at the 14th Annual Columbus Food Truck Festival in August. For more information about the festival details, go to columbusfoodtruckfest.com. Joining us now is Chas Kaplan. He's owner of the Kaplan Artists Group and the Columbus Food Truck Festival. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you kicked it off 14 years ago, and you've learned a lot since then.
Learned everything.
And I I can't wait, because for people listening that or watching that were there, they'll be dying to know what you learned from that.
Oh, yeah.
But first of all, you're not a chef. You did own a food truck, but you're not a cook per se.
That's right.
What's the connection here?
So back in high school, elementary school, just picking up odd jobs, working in the back of kitchens, washing dishes, line cook at an Italian restaurant, cooking pizza, salads.
All the glamorous stuff.
That stuff, yeah. And then I actually, I moved from Cleveland to Columbus in '93, went to Ohio State. I didn't graduate for various reasons, but got involved with Buffalo Wild Wings and became a franchise consultant for them. They said, I met up with some of the guys that I had worked with prior down at the German Village, BW3, when it was there. And I needed a job, and they were like, all right. I said, but I need to be a manager. And they said, well, if you can shake chicken wings in the back kitchen of the Woodruff store during one football season and get through that, see how you do, we'll make you a manager.
Trial by fire.
I crushed it.
No MBA required here.
And they made me a franchise consultant, went around the country, opened up various stores, landed on Bethel Road, BW3, which became the flagship, doing $3.5 million a year annually, which at that time in the late 90s was blowing away any sales out of 180 units. I loved it. I love the owners, the May brothers. Have been doing stuff in Columbus for a long time now. Offered me a job, and I became the general manager of that store from 96 till 2000. I got burnt out. I left. I got into web development. I got into real estate, but my biggest passion at that point was music entertainment business. I had a lot of friends in the industry on major levels in New York and LA. I started managing bands locally. Worked at Nationwide Arena as a production assistant from time to time. Through that, and then go to the story of landing at Dumici and hanging out with Jeff Mathis.
Dumici on Gay Street down there.
Yeah, he was a great friend of mine. I lived downtown in the mid-2000s. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if you've ever had an opportunity to book Steve's band.
Oh, no.
The Ravens.
I haven't. No.
They're still playing.
I'm intrigued.
They are still
I got to
playing.
take a listen to that.
Yeah, you have to.
Send me the EPK. I'm all about
we
it.
do reunions.
Okay. High school reunions. Got it.
60 and 65.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Back to
I was doing production assistant work at Nationwide Arena. At the time, Nationwide Arena partnered with OSU, created Columbus Arena Management to kind of hedge their bets on financials, things like that. Through that, I was also, again, rewind back down to Dumici and hanging out down there with friends of mine that worked at City Hall. Mayor Mike Coleman was in office at the time. Jeff Mathis is a very close friend of mine. He would let me know when the mayor was down there. I would run over, we'd have some martinis. I was trying to pitch Mayor Coleman, County Commissioner John O'Grady, and various other folks on music festivals at the time. Well, John O'Grady came to me and said, just out of thin air, he was like, Chas is all over us about doing this. So a mutual friend, Mike Brown, who was the chief of staff for City Hall, connected us. And I went out to lunch with John, and he said, are you familiar with what's going on in South Florida, Dade County, food truck scene and all of that? And I said, yeah, I am. Actually, I have some family down there. Also, And we were just speaking about Rick Wolf, who'd come back from California and brought the original version of the cheesy truck to Columbus. Him and I used to hang out at Duamici as well. This all I'm giving Jeff Mathis and Duamici a ton of credit, and that where the credit is absolutely due. We all met each other there.
And the food was good.
And the food was great.
Not only the martinis.
Yeah, exactly. Although the martinis were great.
Yeah.
So Rick was just enlightening me to what was going on in the food scene in California. John O'Grady came to me with this idea because the Columbus Commons was just being built. And John said, hey, can you put on a food truck festival this summer? And the person that I am, I rarely say no, and I'll figure it out. And
Wait, what month was this?
This was probably it was warm already, so it had to have been like early April.
Oh, my.
And this summer being in a few months.
And this was 2011 and wanted it in, I think we did it in July, middle of July, July 13th to be exact, I believe.
8 weeks.
So I knew Rick, I knew Mike from Mikey Late Night Slice had just started. Paddy Wagon, Zach James was just getting up and running. Tato Heads, these were Jim Pasovich from Pete Abilities. These were some of the from that point perspective where it really jumped from this level to this level in the food scene. So they were all there. We said, yeah, we could do it. I went to a couple friends of mine at the time, business partners they're no longer involved with, said, let's throw this party. How do we do it? You're the marketing guy. You know the food trucks. You know the booze.
Okay, you knew the food trucks. You were...
Through Rick Wolf and Mikey.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was in it right away. It wasn't a difficult task for us. I can't recall how... I think it was just word of mouth. We said, we're going to rent the Commons. At the time, the Commons was brand new, so of course, I believe we were one of the first big events.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal because a lot of people were sort of had a jaundiced view of the Commons. They didn't think it was anything anyone would really get into.
Look, respectfully, it was a real estate deal down there.
Yeah.
They were trying to, bring the green space to downtown to build real estate, residential and development all around it.
Right.
And we were lucky enough to just get in.
Yeah.
Right. And we brought 20 trucks somehow. I don't know how we got them.
How many people
other than
showed
the
up?
fact that it was me, Mike Galicchio, who was partners with Chris Corso with all the clubs. I was a club promoter with Chris Corso.
There we go.
Some familiar names.
So it's a lot of it was movers and shakers. Tim Wolf from the Small Business Beanstalk at the time.
I had him on.
Who's now crushing it.
Yeah.
So it was all of us movers and shakers combined together, and we just put the outreach all over the place, and we got it. And 20 trucks. We had no clue what we were doing, but we said, hey, we got the marketing down pat. We know how to do all that part. Let's just offer free admission for the trucks, but we're going to cut it off at 20. We didn't charge a penny. And frankly, I don't know if we had the proper insurance. We knew how to get beer from Mike Galicchio and Corso, right? We knew how to get all that done.
Important stuff. Yeah.
I'll never forget because we opened up the festival and within like an hour it was packed.
How many people showed up?
I'm estimating 20,000
For
with 20
trucks.
And we ran out of food. We ran out of beer.
People were bummed.
People were upset because also it was us that promoted it on a very grandioso scale for year one and not having a clue. That was a little dangerous in retrospect because we really went over the top with Facebook was just hot. That was the MySpace, I think maybe even still existed at the time. I don't know. We got on all the radio. Randy Moy, Monica Day from NBC was a huge supporter, so she was featuring the whole thing. There's a great picture on my Facebook right now from her touching my forehead up with, sweat and getting me TV ready, which was great. So we really put it out there, and I'm so humbled that all of the help that we had early on, like that was just incredible from the entire city, from the media, everybody. And I'll never forget, somebody passed out. An attendee passed out.
It was August.
The first hours, middle of July.
Oh,
but it was one of those hot ones.
That's right.
It was like this past July on a 95-degree day. Somebody had passed out, and they're fine. They had a seizure of some sort. It wasn't heat stroke, but we didn't know what to do. We didn't have an ambulance on site. It was a scary situation, but at the same time, all of it was so exciting. And that night we're sitting around. honestly, I think that we profited $1,500 or something like that. It wasn't any
good margin, yeah.
But we proved something to ourselves.
Right.
We proved something to the city that we had it going on, and that just went on moving forward. Then it became me and Mike Galicchio, Tim Wolf, his business, going his own direction, decided to get out of it. I think we were all together through 2014, maybe 2015.
Did you stay there at the Commons?
We stayed at the Commons through 2016.
Okay.
Then we moved to the Scioto Mile in 2017. That's incorrect. We were at the Commons 2015. We moved to the Scioto Mile in 16, 7. I got my years messed up. We moved to the Scioto Mile 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be off by 1 year.
The location of Jazz and Rib Fest kind of thing.
We were trying so hard we knew being at the Commons, so rewind back to the Commons, we had the main space. You can only fit about 25 trucks in there with the carousel and the weight bearing issues, being that it's over a garage. So we had the...
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
We had the southeast corner, which is now, I forget the name of the building, but there was an open lot. So we had that where we put another 15 or 20 trucks over there. So all of a sudden it became 40 trucks. And then in 2015 or 14, we rented out the parking lot, caddy corner by kind of the Greyhound station over there. On 4th and Rich, in between 3rd and 4th and Rich. And we put another 25 trucks over there. So I think at one point we had 65 trucks down in that little corridor of the Commons. And it was just, we stopped traffic. 670 was like gridlocked. It was wild. It was so wild. I remember getting texts from people in the media, the helicopters flying over. It was just so incredible. And we loved it. We loved every second of it.
Yeah. All right, so let's just jump to this. What's the magic about food trucks that attracts so many people that all want to come down? I mean, how many things can you eat?
I mean,
variety is pretty important.
Variety is important, but first and foremost, the festival. I've lived in Columbus now longer than the 18 years I lived in Cleveland, and I consider myself being from here with my Cleveland roots. But the truth of the festival is that it's all completely homegrown. There's a TLC, just like a chef in the kitchen, the TLC of their food, and everyone that's working with them. It's the same concept. Everybody that's worked with us, we consider family.
And all the food trucks are from Columbus. They don't have are they people coming in from out of town?
Those years at the Commons, every truck was from Columbus.
But now?
Now we get Dayton, Cincinnati, Cleveland. We've had trucks as far as South Florida drive up.
Wow.
Typically now it's about 70% of the food vendors are from Central Ohio. And then 20 to 25% are from further out.
But there's still that homegrown TLC sort of feel to it.
Yeah, everybody that works with me in the festival, I consider very close family. I hang out with them year round. It takes a village, right? And now early on, I was very close with a lot of the food trucks. Unfortunately, for business purposes, it became a little dangerous to be that close of friends with the people that I was also representing and working my hardest to try and make millions for them. So there was animosity created. There was all sorts of that. That happens in any realm of business, I'm sure. So I actually did kind of pull back a little bit from going to the bars and shooting pool with these guys and things like that, because there was just...
Yeah.
It put myself in a position of people blaming me of favoritism, which I am a firm believer of not doing. It's about put up or shut up, and that's it. Competition breeds success, things like that. I don't want any part of the favoritism conversation, so I had to pull myself away.
So the Columbus Food Truck Festival was ranked the number 4 best city food festival in the nation by USA Today. Which is a particular distinction, a city food festival. And I'm telling about there's others rankings out there. I mean, it's sort of rando in a way. But why does that ranking matter? I mean, what does that tell you about what you're doing?
It's humbling. It's beautiful. It's a fan voted contest online. It tells me that I left a mark. I do have some passion between this. When I go back to working in the music business and Nationwide Arena and managing bands, all I wanted to do was just play a small little role behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be here on the microphone on the TV, which I love now, but I just play.
Glad you do.
Excuse me. Just want to play a very small role in taking people out of their daily stresses and giving them an opportunity to just come and eat, listen to music, sit on the grass, have a beer, whatever. That I believe, and again, the family that I work with sort of all feel the same way. That's what makes this special. I think that just exudes out into the universe, and people feed off that.
Yeah. Nothing like a great party.
So
Yeah.
explain what the vibe is like.
The vibe is chill. It's relaxed. It's family friendly.
Is there music?
There is music, and that, back to the beginning of booking the music, that really has been all me since the beginning, coming from that industry. I am I'd like to call myself a little bit of a hippie or a deadhead. I'm into the folk rock, Kentucky bluegrass, rock and roll. I listen to Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, all day yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the place with music, but I wanted to create an aspect of the music where no one of any background, nationality, race, whatever, would be offended or annoyed or just any sort of discomfort with the music they heard. I wanted to make sure that the music across the board was appealing to everyone.
And it's not like a concert or a rock concert or something. People are there to eat and to be with their friends and hang out, not...
They're there to eat and relax and share smiles and have fun with their kids. Music is an important aspect for us. I mean, this year, Angela Purley, love her. She's one of the headliners.
Oh, wow, great.
She's from Hilliard area.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled to have her.
Yeah.
Friends of the Dead is another. It's kind of a local super group combination of players. And it's great, an hour and a half of Grateful Dead music, which is amazing to me.
It's very
It's
chill.
one of the only bands, though, that gets everybody in the festival moving every single time. If you don't know the Grateful Dead music, you're going to know. Come and listen to Friends of the Dead.
Great. So you aren't a chef, as we mentioned, but
I'm
you
not
have
a
owned
chef.
and operated a food truck.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, when you're talking to people and as you've grown with this business model in the way that you have, does that mean that anyone can do it? Or does it mean, is there a good food truck proprietor out there?
Good question.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Everyone cannot do it.
Okay.
It was a food cart that me and Mike Galicchio purchased, and we decided to call it Bacon the Food Cart.
Bacon?
So everything bacon. Right?
Okay.
Bacon burger, bacon dogs, bacon on a stick.
Everything's
all of that
better
sort of
with
thing.
Love it.
bacon.
Yeah.
So,
We made a crucial mistake that we knew, and I think Mike would admit it as well to this day, neither of us wanted to work on it. But we both knew how. So we figured that we would build it higher and teach through that way, right from the get-go. We got into every festival. So that was the nuts and bolts of that business. Yeah. I oversee the Ohio State University Mobile Food Program and have since from 2012. So there was a lot of avenues for business that we immediately had that not every vendor would have available to them. So that was huge for us. But that summer that we owned this food cart happened to be the summer, similar to kind of this one, knock on wood, where it rained every single weekend.
Oh, jeez.
And it put us out of business quick.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't lose. We just got out because, hey, we're festival promoters. But we wanted to do it for a year to kind of show everyone, again, back to the hanging out with the food truck owners, playing pool, wanted to make sure that they also knew that we could handle it too. Mm-hmm. And we were willing to put it out there in the universe and just show people that you're not alone. We understand. By the way, we're selling it because we understand how very specific it has to be and how difficult it really is. I give the food vendor owners the utmost respect. It's 150 degrees in their kitchens in the middle of summer, if not hotter, and it's 20 below in the winter, and they're on these stainless steel floors that is just radiating ice cold coming up into the trucks. The OSU program, I operate it year round. So I completely understand. I think that's another part of why the food vendors continue to work with me, because they know that I know
that's exactly right.
that it is not
You experienced
easy.
all
And
this,
now,
you know.
especially today's day and age with the fluctuation of food costs, labor costs, all of the things that are just constantly all over the place right now in the industry, it's not easy. And I am here to help them and hopefully help them profit. I wouldn't be able to make a penny in this industry if they weren't making money, and that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
What do you think? And you guys jump in. I mean, but what do you think is a key to success? I mean, I'm thinking of Cousin's Maine Lobster. They really only have one thing on the menu, maybe a few things if you count the tots and stuff. But you know, what do you think makes it work?
Well, consistency, location, right? That's the same with the restaurant business.
Okay.
Brick and mortars. That's 1 and 2 with the food truck.
Okay.
But then to the modern era, you get to the social media, you get to the flair, you get to menu design. But as a food truck, you also have to keep in mind, you have to know, I did this back at the Buffalo Wild Wings days. How many chicken wings can you get out the window or through a fryer served to the customer in an hour time period, and then reverse calculate it to, within 10 minutes. So I tried to explain this early on to the food vendors that that's what you need to do. And what we're going to do at the festival is we're going to maximize your sales. So whatever business you can do in 1 hour, you're going to do that for 10 straight hours at our festival. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Can you prepare for that? Can you figure out that mathematically?
Exhausting,
If you can't, then you can't do it. But yeah, the consistency, location, for starters, the beautiful thing with food trucks is the location is different almost every other day. So they're able to keep their brand fresh to new people. That was our objective with the OSU program.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. You shift them around to like mostly the medical centers, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Well, what are some of your favorites that are going to be on this?
Here's where I don't know. Can you tell us?
That's right. I can't.
Can you play favorites?
No, I can't.
All right.
I will tell you
What are
some of the new ones.
more interesting?
Yeah,
I'll tell you some of the new ones. And I have been asked this question every year since 2011. What's your favorite? And I go, I don't get caught in that trap. It's kind of like somebody
Nice
asked me,
try,
who
Steve.
was my first kiss, you know?
I don't know where to start.
So what's
You got everything.
new and
So there's
interesting?
like at the Food Truck Festival this year, we have Grateful Griddle, which coincidentally is a Grateful Dead theme.
Oh, nice.
Smash Burger Truck, very excited about them. Come try them out. Island Noodles is a big festival favorite. They actually do almost every big music festival in the country.
They do the arts festival and everything.
Yep.
But are they from Ohio?
They are.
Okay.
Their business is called Island Noodles Florida, actually. But Brad, it's owned by two different guys. One has the southern region, the other one has where we're at. Brad is from Toledo originally.
Okay.
and moved to
What are
Columbus.
Island Noodles?
Island Noodles is a proprietary noodle that they had
good.
kind of trademarked, and they put it in this massive wok. A big part of what they're doing is this curb appeal, right? So they have this huge
demonstration here,
wok, and they're flaming it up, and they're
Okay.
Yeah.
slicing fresh vegetables
Yeah.
into this wok, and then stirring it, and from the time you order to the time you have the cup in your hand, it's 10 seconds.
Yeah,
So that's
pretty
the other
much.
thing. The
Okay.
speed of window. That's part of the
A little
consistency,
theater.
right?
That works. Yeah.
Fried noodles.
We've got a lot of barbecue coming in. We've
Yeah.
got a ton of dessert trucks.
Funnel cakes.
Crepes.
Glaze 'em funnel cake out of Toledo actually is one out of towner, and they have been a part of the festival for the last few years. And I'm not like a carnival like State Fair funnel cake guy,
Yeah.
but these are unbelievable. Like you put the berries and the Nutella and they're small. They're like that. They're not like your
Not
regular
elephant
elven
ears.
ears. Yeah. Incredible stuff. Yeah.
So they've been around forever, food trucks. I think that's what's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's not new, but I was reading about how the current trend started about 15 years ago when an unemployed chef started selling gourmet-style Korean street food from a roving cart.
Roy Choi. in
Yes,
LA.
Roy. Yeah, and LA, he was tweeting his locations. That was kind of a groundbreaking thing that he was
That's it.
doing. He knew people who wanted to know where he was at, his fans,
Yep.
and he tweeted out, and that was a game changer.
So Rick Wolf, who came from L.A. with the cheesy truck
Okay.
and brought the Jackie O, and Rick Wolf, now the executive director of North Market.
Yep.
Yeah.
He brought the Jackie O sandwich in 2011 with the little scoop of beluga in the middle, beluga caviar, and a gold spoon, sold it for $100. And it was a straight marketing piece. I don't know
Sure.
anybody that ever ordered it.
Yeah.
But he, I'm sorry. Okay. So he coming from LA with, and I'm pretty sure he knew Roy with the Korean barbecue.
Oh, okay.
And when I started doing this in 2011, once I did the festival, through the music business at Nationwide Arena, which was overseen by OSU, the general manager of the arenas also ran the nutrition department at OSU at the time. They all of a sudden had this spark of food trucks all over the place. They needed to figure out how to manage and schedule and make sure these trucks were in the right locations, because they would park in spots where there's a building next to a CAT scan machine that would vibrate the building and do all sorts of issues were going. This was right after the festival in 2011. I was approached. They just knew I was involved. First, they asked me if I could cater 6 days of rehearsals for a band called Big Time Rush. That was step one. I had no clue if I could do that, but I said yes. Yeah. I made it happen. On a skateboard in the arena from the loading dock with the food, 215 meals 3 times a day, multiple food trucks. I just did it. I made it happen. It worked. From there, OSU said, we want you to come in and sit down with all of these administrators, nutrition department. We got to figure out this food truck scenario. They sat me down. I'll save that. It's a long story, but I got the contract. I went to Rick Wolf. I said, how do I do this? How do I promote this? And he said, Twitter, look at Roy Choi, what he's doing. I purchased and created OhioFoodTruckFinder.com.
Okay.
Originally, that website took off. I put, at the time, Twitter, you could put the widgets on the website. So I created a Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dayton tabs on the website. And I would put all the widgets to every food truck that I would know in every single city, and the trucks would tweet on there. And it was massive for about 2 years. And then all of a sudden, Twitter started changing everything they were doing. All the food vendors, I think Instagram came out and started getting much bigger.
Instagram and TikTok, too.
Yep, TikTok. So, but it's funny, Roy Choi is idol. I appreciate everything he does, and but also give credit to Jon Favreau as well, because that,
the chef, right? Was that called The Chef?
The Chef, right?
Yeah, the food truck movie. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
Fun movie. Yeah,
I'd love to mention the OSU program too. In regards to that, was a really special situation for me in 2012 when that was offered. I scheduled a bunch of food trucks, like I was scheduling the Back Kitchen, at locations I had no idea what they were doing, good or bad. I learned very quickly that I would hear from the trucks that were doing terrible. I would never hear from the trucks that were crushing it financially. So I went to my father, who owns a software development company. I said, I got to figure out how to schedule this better so that everybody's getting a fair shot. The company Concept XXI out of Cleveland helped me develop this program where we take a lot of various data along with availability, and we created what's called MFV Success, Mobile Food Vending Success, fair scheduling program that we put out at OSU. And I've been doing it for 12 years. I schedule about 150, 200 food truck lunch shifts a month, every month, except for pandemic. And we've had trucks in that program. Tortilla has been involved in it for, I want to say, over 10 years now, as an example. And he's one of the most successful food truck owners. Walter is one of the most successful food truck owners in the city, in my opinion, now with like 5 or 6 trucks. It's a testament to us and to him that this fair scheduling works. I'm pretty sure he built a truck for me, specifically just to have at OSU. So fair scheduling, it's a unique thing. It's not being done, for the most part, anywhere else in the country. I'd love to expand it, but it works for us. It works for us here. It keeps the small business owners knowing what they're going to do on any given month working with me. If they give me 8 shifts or more a month, they know, hey, okay, well, I'm going to be solid in this area.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about these other dates elsewhere.
Yeah. And let's remind folks, it's the 14th annual Columbus Food Truck Festival at the Franklin County Fairgrounds, August 16th and 17th.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to throw in one little last bit about that.
Yeah.
So we're adding VIP this year for the first time. Where I've booked Michael Paris from the band OAR. Is going to be performing 4 times a day in the VIP both days of the festival. We're offering complimentary food in there as well as a couple beverages. It's $30 now online. The festival also itself is $5 general admission online right now and free on-site parking.
Wow.
Who can do anything VIP for $30 these days?
Who can't? Yes, that's right.
Which is a testament to the food truck industry and what it brings and the variety. You know what? We're out of time. Thanks to Chas Kaplan. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for having me. I know I could go on and babble about
Great
this
information.
forever.
We could too. That's our problem. That's why Chas is owner of the Columbus Food Truck Festival. It's in August, and it's now in its 14th year. It was ranked number 4 in the nation by USA Today readers. For more information about the festival, go to columbusfoodtruckfest.com. Again, thanks for joining us, and remember, and also thanks to my co-hosts, Rich Terapak and Steve Stover. Thank you, guys. Remember, a meal is best shared, and no better place to share a meal than at a food truck festival, I would imagine.
Amen.
Share this with anyone you know who loves to eat. Thanks for listening, and have a great food day.
Boxland Media. Think big.